What's going on, guys? Welcome to Dime Dropper, episode 44 on some Jerry West. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on all platforms, YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast, Apple Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on social media at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Dime Dropper Pod. So for tonight's episode, it's going to be a little shorter. I'm going to talk about two collapses. One by the Heat yesterday, but it looks like the Heat made up for it tonight. Love to see that. And because they also played the Warriors, which is a dime dropper team. And I'm going to talk about the Suns collapse the other night against the Nets. And I'm going to start it out with the Lakers and the Nets, the primetime game on TNT tonight. So let's start with the game tonight. Can I just say, every single night, who's on the infirmary list? You know, who's on the IR? It's just absolutely ridiculous, man. Very tiresome. I heard Kyle Lowry was out tonight for his respective team, but they still managed to win somehow. It says thumb injury. We'll see about that. I'm going to pay attention next game. If Kyle Lowry's back, that ain't no thumb injury. That's just, or it's, once again, something he could have played through. It's just starting to get really frustrating, man, every single night. But whatever. No Anthony Davis tonight. No Dennis Schroeder, late scratch because of contact tracing. No Kevin Durant. And in the beginning, it started out with the LeBron carry job. He was taking it to the rim, and they had no answer for him at all. You know what the Nets are going to do, guys? They're going to do their switch everything strategy. It's very similar to the Rockets last year, but except DeAndre Jordan is able to be used in spurts, and they have two, not one, elite shot creator. Because right now, in the bubble, Russell Westbrook was not an elite shot creator. Kyrie Irving and James Harden, they can create their own shot or create for themselves. Russell Westbrook was doing nothing at an efficient level in the bubble. So when you add KD to that mix, you can switch everything, and you have three absolute weapons. So teams can't switch everything on you because that involves one-on-one defense, and they can't be stopped one-on-one. The only thing about this Nets team, though, is that they have no interior presence, and DeAndre Jordan is just not a good defender in many ways anymore. Like, he's not great in space at all. He never has been. And against skilled big men, he's not good either. The problem is with this NBA today is there's not enough skilled big men. Who's going to exploit the Nets? Because they're going to keep doing this switch everything strategy. The only reason why it mainly didn't work out for the Rockets is because Anthony Davis didn't play them. And they don't have an Anthony Davis in the Eastern Conference. Bam Adebayo, he still doesn't take advantage of all his switches. Jimmy Butler's not the greatest one-on-one player in the world. The Celtics get into the trap of playing one-on-one far too much. Giannis has no post game. He likes to waltz in, but I have a feeling that they're going to be able to shut him. Like, I'm not concerned about the Bucks, really. I think their matchup with the Nets may not be bad because, honestly, they have the shooting to spread out, and Giannis still can't be guarded one-on-one. But it's just looking increasingly more like I'm going to lose $100 for saying that the Nets weren't going to make to the finals because of their lack of an interior presence, when it's like nobody is like exploiting that. Like, LeBron was getting to it in the beginning, and then, you know, they started doing different things to try to force it out of his hands. James Harden, though, after LeBron made his first punch, James Harden answered back with even more. He was getting everything he wanted. Nobody could guard him. And one thing I love that James is doing is he's going to the basket more, because that's what I said. Is sometimes he just over dribbles too much and settles. When that's the main thing about James that's cost him in the playoffs. He settles too much. Just take guys off the dribble. There's no hand checking. They can't guard you. And they call hand checking every time with Harden. He's one of those players that you rarely see guys get away with hand checking with him. And he's been doing that tonight, especially when you started hitting those threes over Matthews in the beginning. So then once you step up on him, go into the rim, and then he's creating for everybody. TLC, there was a moment where like his first three threes, they weren't even hitting the rim, like just straight net every time. I thought he was great. And it's not as stagnant as the Rockets offense was last year, because you still got guys like Joe Harris and TLC off the ball. Kyrie's not horrible off the ball. He comes off curls sometimes. Harden's extremely stagnant, but his job is to be more on ball. And I guess that's just how he is. And he made a situation for himself that he's complimented by these other guys. But yeah, the Lakers, you know, they're trying, but outside of LeBron and Kuz, they just really couldn't get much going offensively. And the Nets went to that switch everything strategy, and the Lakers just didn't have an interior presence to really just combat that. Though LeBron made some really impressive shots, but it was kind of the carry job tonight, and nobody helped him. 32 points for Bron, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 14 of 23 from the field. However, the Lakers have a big problem in the fact that they can't shoot threes right now, and KCP is not helping out at all. He's so out of rhythm. 3 of 8, 1 of 5 from 3. And hey, if we're talking regular season, guys, and here's the thing, everybody wants to hate on Danny Green. What he did was he spread the floor, and just because even if he went 1 of 4, that one makes people think. It makes, and his reputation made people respect his shot. So, and plus, he's not a bad defender, and he's a smarter defender. He's not a dumbass. So, and he does, I just really think that you need to understand that sometimes with certain players, subtraction is more in certain ways. And I think Danny Green, the simplistic nature of him, I'm just going to say this real quick, even though Laker fans are going to say, you're being stupid. Look at the Danny Green effect on the teams that he goes to. San Antonio, championship contender. Toronto, championship contender. He leaves Toronto, goes to the Lakers, and still bricks. Like, here's the thing. He was bricking in Toronto. He wasn't as ass, but he was still bricking in Toronto, and he won the championship as a starter. He goes to the Lakers and wins as a starter, and now he goes to Philly. Lakers' three-point shooting decreases, and Philly's doing better. And he's not shooting that terrible anymore. So I think that the Laker fans give him way too hard a time. Like, he was not that bad, but once again, just because you don't make every three you take, if you're just getting catch and shoot with their good looks, you're keeping the defense honest. It's not like he never made it. But anyway, I'm just saying right now the Lakers, they just don't have consistent shooters at all. I'm not saying like you need that, but you need Anthony Davis to dominate if you don't have that shooting. And tonight the defense was trash. Montrader was just awful. He didn't exploit anyone and didn't really do anything. And he didn't get many minutes because he was getting played off the court. He had 10 points on 5 of 8 in 15 minutes, but the problem is he gets, they attack the rim. Kyrie, Harden, I saw them attacking the rim. Gasol, they have to give him more post-ups. He got one turnaround he missed. It was a good shot, though. They got to try to give him more post-ups, in my opinion, in this stretch that Anthony Davis is out. But, yeah. So, the Lakers, just Kuzma was good tonight, 16 points, 7 of 13. No one else is hitting threes. THT is very lost off ball on defense. He's much better on the ball. Kyrie, not a great shooting night, but he was still effective, man. He didn't have a bad game by any means. Just because he didn't shoot well doesn't mean he's ineffective. He's making the defense work. At the end of the day, that's very important. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. As long as we feel your presence and your team is winning, it's always a direct correlation. It's not like he's getting carried by everybody else. The presence of Kyrie Irving changes the game. Anyway, that's the win for the Nets. 19-12 for the Nets. They are 109-98 winners. Lakers lose. Oh, no, they won the last game. So 22-8, they dropped to. It's going to be a tough stretch with that AD for sure. One thing I want to say is I did watch the Nets-Suns fourth quarter, and man, it was tough to watch if you're a Suns fan. I thought that they gave the ball away way too carelessly at times in that fourth quarter. I thought Chris Paul was trying to really carry the team in the end, like we've seen him do so many times, and he was hitting. Like, it was kind of unbelievable what he was doing, like just hitting all his contested mid-ranges, but even some threes. But the Nets switch everything strategy causes for stagnant ball. And you know who was playing amazing in that game? And honestly, he's just been great all season? Jeff Green. His ability to guard multiple guys in multiple positions of, strength guys and speed guys is invaluable, especially the fact that he can set screens and either pick and pop and roll. He can't roll when there's actual rim protection, but once again, in today's small ball league, there's like no rim protection anymore. So it's like he can just get what he wants with Harden attracting so much energy. He always, takes the big man with him, Harden, if they're setting screens with big AC. But, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. I guess that's the moral of it. By the way, the Heat lost. Crazy comeback by the Warriors. Kent Bazemore I thought was really good. Steph Curry, some big shots. But, yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. There wasn't too much going on. But apologies to the live chatters. We're going to join now. Wi-Fi sounded a little bit shaky. Good night, people. I think we'll be back tomorrow for Clippers Jazz. Likely we'll be back for Clippers Jazz tomorrow night. Hopefully the Clippers get their guys back. But the Nets are looking more and more like that front runner to come out of the East, like I did predict. I said that I put my money on them not making it because of their lack of rim protection. But I'm losing faith in the NBA big man. Also, I will say, though, that I have to give credit to James Harden. I'm not surprised with anything Kyrie's doing. I'm not surprised with anything KD's doing. I'm really surprised at how well Harden's doing and how much he sacrificed in terms of scoring. And he's been okay with giving up the ball more, quite frankly. That's it for me tonight, guys. Let me know what you think. See you tomorrow. Peace. Wi-Fi being AIDS, boys. Random cutting off these days, huh? The Lakers haven't shot the three well or defended the three well lately. Defending the three well, have they really been that bad lately? I mean, that's mostly comes from stopping dribble penetration, but also LeBron and THT often find themselves in no man's land on defense off the ball. By the way, I didn't mention this tonight. I know LeBron was carrying a fat load offensively, but like because of that, he doesn't guard the best players at all for even one possession, like it seems like at all. So it's a very double-edged sword there. My mouth? No, Durant cannot surpass Kobe. Um, God damn it, Austin. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, all the viewers are in hiding. How's your night? It's decent. It's chill. It's nice to see the Lakers lose because they're in competition with us. I want the highest seed possible, and I want the Lakers to just lose for their confidence to go bad. Yeah, but LeBron played well, man. Other than offensively, other than the fact that on defense he can't guard anyone because playing both sides of the floor. That's one thing we have to talk about. Like I get it, year 18 that Reggie Miller was spamming it so much, but like part of the reason he played year 18 is because for years and years now he's conserved on defense like the whole game until like he needs to guard the best player at the end, and even sometimes he has someone else to do it for him. But then he like. You know what I mean? He's not like locked in on defense all the time, like ever. Like, I don't know, man. But that's just what it is. I saw somebody trying to make an argument that he's a better defender than Jordan tonight, and like actually trying to use clips to be serious with people. Like, you're like not fooling anybody, right? But anyway, LeBron was great tonight. I don't really, I mean, he did his job. He needs more help tonight. Can you guess my team? I don't know, Lakers? Bam and Jimmy both triple doubles tonight. LeBron was trash? Really? I don't know about that, J Love. He was getting guys good looks they weren't making. Oh, thank you. But here's my thing, Jackie. You say it's an awesome channel because you admit LeBron's and is an all-time great while stating his flaws. Some people think that me stating his flaws and saying he's not in my top 5 or this and that or whatever, even though I don't have a top 5, but even if he wasn't, that's hating. So somebody having an opinion is hating now. That's the problem with LeBron fans. Someone earlier said I was hating. This is my opinion. Lakers just aren't the same with AD. Yeah, of course they're not the same with AD. That's not rocket science, Seth. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, didn't miss. LeBron had a very good game. He had a great game offensively, but there's two sides of the ball, Edgar. Come on. We can't deny this. There's two sides of the ball. We forget that in today's NBA. Didn't do anything on defense, LeBron. He doesn't guard anybody that's relevant. He just guards the worst player to roam. Yeah, Jeff Green is a very good defender. He's very solid. He can guard multiple positions. He's not like some elite defender, but he can guard. Kawhi's not at the same level as LeBron. He just flails when he gets some contact sometimes and yells. No, facts, Brian. And you know what? Kawhi doesn't flail when no one touches him like LeBron. Kawhi flails when he gets touched and yells and goes, "Hey!" But he doesn't like do the whenever he doesn't get touched. Okay, for sure. Gasol has to go. His days are over with. Too slow, silly fouls. I thought the Lakers got way better, though, Ja'Cory. I feel you, Seth Greenberg, on the complaining. Yeah, I agree too, our boy. Schroeder would have had a much better chance. Clip teen, Magic or Chris Paul? I honestly have to say Chris Paul by a little bit more because he is my guy. You do be hating sometimes, dying on LeBron. Come on. But we love your Cleveland. I just don't like him that much. I can't have an opinion. Like, I can't inject my own opinion to my own show. I'm sorry, man. Some of the shit he does pisses me off as a competitor, bro. I'm really competitive. Like, I just don't. Some of them violate the codes that Kobe taught me as a kid. Like, that was the role model. In terms of, like, competitiveness, when I thought competitive, I thought about Kobe because that's who I watched every night. Clippers didn't have that guy. And LeBron was my favorite player, and I have to admit he didn't want it as bad as Kobe. He still wants it, though. LeBron is hungry. Like, that's why he's all-time. All the all-time greats are hungry. But relative to some other ones, I question his hunger sometimes. He wants, like, if it's not all going his way, he complains and bitches and blows the house down. You feel me? He doesn't like, except, like, you know what I mean? That's and people say, well, in Cleveland he had a terrible team. No, he didn't have a terrible team for 7 years. He just didn't have a championship team. There's a difference. Anyway, yeah, I want to see Schroeder. Schroeder was a big loss defensively tonight. With AD, they would have won tonight. Hypothetical. With KD, they would have won tonight. Like that. Fuck that finals preview shit with the Lakers and the Nets, man. That Kawhi impersonation was spot on. Yes, Paul George totally violates the codes, and that's why I don't even like Paul George that much, guys. Like, he needs to get us out of the second round. There's nothing, just because he's good at basketball doesn't mean I'm supposed to like him. He makes excuses too. I'm consistent, bro. Don't try to act like I'm one way or the other. I'm consistent. Paul George, I liked him in Indiana years ago, and then he really lost my respect, and he lost it even more last year. But we'll see. He needs to perform. Bro, because why do I like Magic? Well, as you can see, the show is called Dime Dropper, and I love guys that can pass the ball. And like, to me, Magic Johnson, when I watch him, he just represents everything I love about basketball, like in a player. Like, he plays the game the way I think it should be played, with fun, with enthusiasm, making everybody better, not giving a shit about your stats, and pushing the pace and just having fun with it. And obviously, some people can't do what he did, but man, he's so enthusiastic. He loves basketball. Like, I love basketball. Like, I don't know. Watching him makes me love basketball more. 35K points, yes. Everybody hates the Lakers, Michael George. This isn't new. Bro, nobody likes the Lakers outside of Laker fans. The most hated basketball team. It's the truth. And the most loved. Like, it's just how it is. Yes, Jazz Clippers yesterday. Wait, what? First of all, Austin House, timeout. Stop it once again. Hold on a second. How new are you to my channel? That's all I talk about is Paul George. I talk about my basketball team that he plays for. Are you new? You don't understand how much I went in on Paul George last year, bro, for what he did. My speaking, I reflect what happens in the games. Paul George has done nothing for the Clippers. Nothing. Nothing that has not been done before. He needs to prove himself in the second round by getting us out of there. What are you talking about, Austin Howes? Are you new? Get out of here. Don't try to tell me that shit. First of all, when did I say Paul George should be the MVP? When did I say that? The Lakers have the biggest fan base. It's not even close. Yeah, facts. And Clip Teen, and he's just insanely good. Like, the skill he has, like at that size, to full speed behind the backs, full speed spin moves in transition. He's a great rebounder, both offensive and defensive. He has post game. He has hook shots with both hands. Like, he understands the moment so well. Like, it's just amazing. Yeah, he's new. Oh, that's my boy Edwin. Lakers lose. Beautiful day. You can defend and outscore any teams inside. What'd you say, Gab Story? I'm trying to defend. That's facts, Gab Story, but it would be nice if they can, balance it out with some inside domination. Why was PG-13 better and more impactful than PG now? I think PG now is great. I just think he has confidence issues because the pressure's increased on him. I mean, 2013, he caught people by surprise. So, like, you got to give him and first of all, that we use a lot of revisionist history with the Paul George Indiana shit, because Paul George actually averaged like 17 points in that conference finals. I think Roy Hibbert may have. Jackie, he could hit threes. He just didn't take a lot, and he wasn't a great shooter. But why would a 6'9" point guard take threes? It's counterproductive. Like, I would rather be an inside threat. And that wasn't a game. Wasn't the game. Hey, Clip Teen, man, thank you for listening, bro. A lot of people don't want to learn about the game, man. You really watching Magic Johnson? Really? You enjoy it? Is it fun for you? I love it. It's a different style of basketball. Some kids may not like that. It's a little more fundamental, less flashy. Like, the dribbling rules aren't the same, so like you can't do all that crossover. All that. Yeah, Magic improved his jumper as he went on. But obviously, you don't want if you're Magic, why would you shoot jumpers like that? Oh, Ayo, MXM. Do you know what we call that? What you just said? I really hate when LeBron holds the ball and there's 3 seconds left and then he throws it. You know what we call that, as we talked about in Who's the GOAT? An assist pass. That's putting your teammates in a bad situation. That's selfish basketball. I'm not trying to hurt my field goal percentage, which Kobe used to do all the time. He used to hurt his field goal percentage because he was like, I'm the best player. I'm taking the shot at the end of the shot. Talk about this.